Following service as a pilot with the Canadian Air Force and as a test pilot with the Canadian Space Agency, John Maris devoted himself to engineering and innovations with his company, Marinvent Corporation. His contributions in aviation and aerospace have earned him international recognition as a leader in his field. Born in London, England on March 10, 1958, John Michael Maris was the youngest child of his parents, Michael and Lena. John began flying when he was 13, making his first solo flight on his 17th birthday, and had his commercial pilot license by the time he was 18. He earned a BSc in Aeronautical Engineering at the Imperial College of Science and Technology in 1979, then moved to the United States to study at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona Beach, Florida, where he continued to fly with fixed-wing aircraft and in rotary-wing aircraft as well. At Embry-Riddle, John earned a Master of Aeronautical Science degree in 1982 and a Master of Aviation Management degree in 1983, both with distinction. In 1983, John enlisted in the Royal Canadian Air Force, married Julia, and they incorporated Marinvent Corporation, which John currently serves as President and CEO. John also incorporated Maris Warden Aerospace in 1986 with Apollo 15 Command Module pilot Alfred Warden for commercial development of several of John's patents. John's Air Force primary flight training was at the Canadian Forces Flying Training School in Portage la Prairie, Manitoba, and he continued his training with jet aircraft at the Canadian Forces Flying Training School at Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, where Lieutenant Maris earned his pilot's wings, pinned on him by his father, a veteran of the Second World War. And John was awarded both the Golden Centenaires Trophy and the City of Moose Jaw Trophy as the top overall student. Offered his choice of posting, John chose to fly the Lockheed CP-140 Aurora, completing maritime operations and training courses with 404 Squadron, CFB Greenwood, Nova Scotia. Promoted to captain in 1985 at CFB Comox, British Columbia, with 407 Maritime Patrol Squadron, John led his crew to the Canadian Anti-Submarine Warfare Championship. He then attended the United States Air Force Test Pilot course at Edwards Air Force Base in California, where he graduated in 1989 with highest grades. John then served 4 years as project officer and experimental test pilot at the Aerospace Engineering Test Establishment at Cold Lake, Alberta, where he ran the Tactical Transport Tanker program with Hercules aircraft. And he performed the acceptance of the CC-150 Polaris aircraft into service with the Department of National Defense. John's next posting was to the Canadian Space Agency, with responsibility for projects including the design of evaluations performed by NASA astronauts for Canadarm2, the robotic arm of the International Space Station. In 1995, holding the rank of Major and having received the Canadian Forces Decoration, John Maris retired from the military to devote full-time to Marinvent Corporation. He conceived the concept of the Certified Electronic Aviation Chart and the associated Electronic Flight Bag Technology, or EFB, an electronic information management device that helps flight crew perform flight management tasks, replacing paper-based material in a traditional pilot's carry-on flight bag. This technology was purchased by Boeing Jepson in 2002 and is now the de facto world standard in use by more than 150,000 pilots and organizations. John's company, Marinvent, has owned 2 airborne test beds used for the certification of advanced avionics. John completely redesigned the cockpits of both turboprop aircraft, a twin-engine Piper Cheyenne, and later a high-performance Piaggio P180 Avanti for this specialized flight test role. Marinvent has been involved in flight test programs in Canada, the United States, and New Zealand. In 2005, John was the recipient of the Trans-Canada McKee Trophy, Canada's oldest and most prestigious aviation trophy. He and his company have been honored by the Canadian Business Aviation Association and recognized for aerospace achievement by the Aerospace Industries Association of Canada. In 2017, from Embry-Riddle University, John earned his doctorate in aviation safety and human factors, and was named by Canadian Defence Review magazine as Canada's Defence Executive of the Year. Dr. Maris has taught postgraduate university courses in aviation-related subjects in both English and French, and delivered standardization courses for flight test personnel of the Bombardier C-Series aircraft. He is well published in academic literature and has authored several NASA publications and numerous patents. In over 45 years, John has logged over 6,300 hours as a pilot. He is a Transport Canada delegated test pilot qualified to fly all fixed-wing aircraft for experimental purposes. Highly successful in all his endeavors, John is recognized internationally as a pilot and as an innovative and accomplished entrepreneur for advancement in aviation. John Michael Maris was inducted as a member of Canada's Aviation Hall of Fame at ceremonies held in Calgary on June 7, 2018.